I was watching an interview with the author of Atomic Habits. His name is James Clear. This is something interesting that he said. Your outcomes in life are the lagging measure of your habits. So I don't know if you're familiar with the meaning of outcomes. Outcomes is the same of results. So your results in life or your outcomes in life are the lagging measure of your habits. What is a lagging measure? A lagging measure is a measure based on past performance. 4 examples. The first one, your bank account is the lagging measure of your financial habits. Your weight is a lagging measure of your eating habits. Your knowledge is a lagging measure of your learning habits. He is saying here that the most important thing when we want to get a result is not necessarily establishing a goal, but paying a lot of attention to our habits. And then he talks about the compound effect. I don't know if you're familiar with this term. Compound is a mathematical term, and I will explain right now how it works. This is what James Clear said in the interview. The compound effect is the operating system that has been running your life, whether you know it or not. And this is so interesting, whether you know it or not. So what does it mean? Sometimes we are aware, sometimes we are conscious about our habits, sometimes we are not. And here I have this interest on interest, this phrase in Portuguese, juro sobre juro. In a video, the guy was talking about this book, The Compound Effect, and he gave a very interesting example that a compounding for 2-year maturity at 5% per annum is 10.25%. Here I also need to explain the meaning of maturity. It is how long an investment, for example, lasts. Compounding for 2-year maturity at 5% per annum is 10.25%. Because when we do the math, we tend to think that 5% per annum, if it's 2 years, we tend to sum 5 plus 5 equals 10. And then we think that the result is 10%, but it's not. It's 10.25. Why? Because this is the math. We're going to multiply 1.05 per 1.05 for the first year and for the second year. Minus 1, and then we have the 10.25%. Yes, now we have the example. You get an offer, $10 per week or $5,000 per month. Guys, this is a question for you. Which one do you prefer? $10 per week or $5,000 per month?
I prefer 5,000. I don't know.
5,000? Okay.
It depends for a long.
Yeah,
How long?
depends on the taxes.
This is an amazing example because if we consider that we will use $10 per week, but considering a compound growth and $5,000 per month, and it's not a compound, let's see what happens. So the first month, after the first month, we are going to have $51 in the first scenario and $5,000 for the second scenario. Second month, 126 and 10,000. Of course, we are just simply summing 5,000 plus 5,000, 10,000. And the third month, we have $235 in the first scenario and $15,000 for the second. After 1 year, the first scenario, you have $15,541 and the second, $60,000. But look at what happens after month 16, 17, and 24. You see? I will ask you again. Which one do you prefer? The
Jesus
first.
Christ. Of course, the first teacher. Of course.
Of course, the first. So you see, for habits, it's exactly the same. We're talking here about compound growth. This is mathematical explained compound growth. When we consider the interest on interest, the thing tends to grow a lot along the time. So, this is the result after 2 years. This is exactly how habits work, okay, as this first scenario. So, what lesson can we take from this comparison? The lesson is in the beginning, we feel very frustrated when we start with the first scenario, when we start building a habit. We will only see the real result in the future, in the distant future, not considering the time, because this is going to depend on what habit we are building, what habit we are considering. So, this is exactly what happens with habits. And this is a graph I took from this website Investopedia, which I love. It's my favorite when I want to search something about finance. They have videos, they have a lot of interesting information, like an encyclopedia for investment. I strongly recommend. And of course, they are explaining what is compound interest. And here, I just want to show you the graph, okay? Just pay attention to the graph and how in the beginning the growth is slow and then it speeds up, it accelerates. This is something that we need to take into consideration when we are building a new habit. That's it. Thank you for watching. If you like the content, leave a comment, give a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel. Oh, and remember to hit the bell below so you receive all the notifications each time I upload a new video. See you next time.